Right, strap in, this is a long one. The trip itself was not that long, but we visited a lot of places. Then we started off in London, which is where this is here, in the IKEA bag thing, I don't know what it was. Anyway, here we are on the way to Dover in the middle of the night to get on a ferry to France. Lots of footage of us getting on the ferry because this is only the third time, maybe the second time I've ever done it. Here's Sean putting on the little light reflector things, and as you can see it wasn't very busy, which is not really surprising because it was, I think we set off on the 31st of January. Pretty sure this was New Year's Eve that we headed over the sea to France. It was very windy. We were expecting it to be a very choppy crossing, but fortunately, it wasn't actually too bad in the end. Did a bit of knitting, did a bit of looking at the sea, and it wasn't very long till we were there, about two hours, something like that. And this is us getting off the ferry and heading on into France. Now, we weren't stopping in France for very long. We were heading pretty much straight through France via a Carrefour to get a few bits and bobs, and we were heading to Belgium for the night. This is a sign that I think said that we were going somewhere, I don't know. So there was just getting some snacks, heading across to Belgium, and we had Domino's Pizza in Belgium where they don't have dips, which is quite disappointing. That's my favourite bit. So yes, it was New Year's Eve, and this was the celebrations from one of the hotel windows that we could see. We tend to go away when other people don't, mostly because of timing, and also it's nice to just get away without loads of people. This is the remnants of some of those fireworks. We were seeing these everywhere the next day or two, all over the places we were in. So yeah, a big clean-up needed there. But this was the Atomium, there it is, and the park that surrounded the Atomium. And we decided while we were here, we were going to check out that top end of Brussels, and then we were going to head to mini Europe. Why not? Relive the past a little bit for us. As you can see, we are no longer in the EU, sadly, and it was a little bit sad the way that this was put together to showcase that we were no longer part of that. But it was very cute, and if you're ever near Brussels, I definitely suggest it. Sean had a nice chat with the creepiest Santa I've ever seen, and I made him go in pretty much all of the things. This is a very big party boat, lots of things going on there, but it is Europe. I mean, see if you can guess what all these places were, because I'll be honest, it was a little while ago now and I can't actually remember where any of these places were. That was in Brussels, I think, which is why I took a big shot of it, because we actually go to that place. You'll see it later, spoilers. Here's the border, looking a bit sad, but instantly cheered himself up by going on a ski car. This is the EU referendum in miniature form as part of Mini Europe, and there's Sean as a beefeater. It's not a beefeater, is it? I don't know what it is. This is a woman getting twanged by a board, a comic effect. Mini Eiffel Tower, that's us leaving the UK back into the EU. And there's Sean racing a bicycle. He did all the hard work at this place, to be honest. I mostly just sat and watched. Made him get into a reindeer bit, and now he's playing with a boat. He's doing pretty well with the boat, I would say, until he had to try and get it through this hole. So, fail. And then, just to kind of start wrapping up, we decided to get a little key ring made by this machine. There it is. Got spat out. Little Mini Europe. What they're called. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's the Mini Leaning Tower of Pisa, Mini Berlin Wall being pulled down. That's Sean as a farmer, I guess. There's a lot of footage of this, and this is me cutting it down as well. But we did spend a good few hours there. Then at the end, you could put stuff on this digital thing, and it would showcase it for you. We'd still not left though. Apparently, I needed some more shots of us with that. And then we thought, let's head into the city of Brussels. We did. We came out, and the first thing we saw was a Christmas market, because there were just a couple more days left of the Christmas markets while we were there. I had a nice vegan thing with some olive oil, vinaigrette, and lots of Belgian waffles even. I'll be honest, I'm probably not going to do a re-edit on this, so you have to put up with any things that I say that are random because it's late at night. We saw the weeing statues. This was the lady weeing statue, and we also saw the boy weeing statue. There's the bit that I did that shot of before. As you can see, they did a good job of the mini version. But we didn't stop here for very long. Well, there's a big reveal. Big one, isn't it? We were trying to get around Brussels as much as we could because we only had a few hours really. We went to look at some of the art. There's the boy weeing statue, very famous weeing statue. And then this was quite cool. You could turn this ballet thing around, and that one made me laugh. There's some more Asterix stuff relevant to the place. We went on a little quick tour, and there's the dog weeing statue. Yeah, we went on a little tour of the art of Brussels, mostly cartoonish art. And then, of course, we had to have some chips, basically, because that was a Belgian thing. This is us heading back to the car. We'd parked up near the Atomian, and we got to the tram down. So now we're like, okay, Belgium, done, tick. Let's head to Luxembourg. And that's where we went. I'm going to guess one of these signs says Luxembourg. I can't read it. Pretty sure that's where we went next. It is! And it was snowing. And it was a really interesting day because we were trying to decide how to get into Luxembourg. And we had to wait about an hour for this bus when they were supposed to go every sort of 20 minutes. So at this point we were a little bit annoyed and quite cold. But it was worth it. Really enjoyed Luxembourg. We were only there for a day. But we found some really nice vegan food. We found this awesome square. Quite a small place, as you'd expect, but the city itself seemed to have quite a lot going on. We already made a plan to return. This is the palace, because Luxembourg does have a king and queen, and they were being guarded by, again, not a beef eater, but a guard. This is the biggest lift I think I've ever been in my life. This entire thing is a lift. And we were heading up to the Luxembourg Museum to learn more about Luxembourg. And this is the Mermaid of Luxembourg. I should probably remember better, but I think it's like that she's supposed to have founded the city. I can't remember. This is loads of old soldier uniforms and more sort of maps and things. I'll be honest, not a lot of this went in. This building was a really old building that they kind of added on to. Sean went out to look at some art. I didn't want to, it was cold. And then I looked at some art inside instead, which is this kind of cool, slow swinging swing. And then Sean drew a picture of us, and we headed on our way again to the streets of Luxembourg. There's a little dog, that was quite cute. I love this was the vegan food we had. It's very nice, and the most exciting part probably was the Belgian waffles. Even though we'd left Belgium and we were now in Luxembourg, managed to have some vegan waffles, and they were tasty. Some more street art there, and more buildings in Luxembourg. There's the bridge now. That was in mini Europe, so I assumed it was important for some reason. And then we decided to go to the Luxembourg Museum of Art, which was kind of cool. They had some good stuff in there. This greeted you as you arrived, which was a big, huge room. I went way too close to this, an alarm went off. I was just trying to show you the sad dog. And if I ever seen a beanbag, I have to jump on it. So that was in the basement. Lots of cool arty things to do, like walk down this corridor. And then later in the day, back at the hotel, we had a swim. It was a spa hotel, so we kind of did some spa-y things and had a nice meal in the restaurant, which I very rarely do. That's me eating an olive. If you remember from the video with my dad going to Portugal, we ate a lot of olives, and I decided I didn't like them, but now I do. we couldn't find the scraper, so we're using cards to scrape all the ice off the car. Later on in the day I did find it. It was actually in the car, so well done me. This is driving out of Luxembourg, and I'm going to guess... I can't see, I can't read it. I think it's Germany. No, maybe the Netherlands, yeah. Netherlands is next. We did a weird journey. So we went to Eindhoven, and I'm not going to lie, I had to go back through booking.com to check where we went because my memory's dreadful. But this was a lovely little museum, kind of in the middle of nowhere, really, because he lived there for a short time with his parents, and that's kind of what they're latching on to. And while he was here, he made one of his more famous paintings, the Potato Eaters, and that's what this is. And you're allowed to go in and depict that and take photos of you doing so. That was fun then. There was some cool art stuff on the way out where you could play with art and play with light and things like that. That was really cool, as I'm guessing most of you know. If you know me, I really like colour, so that was really fun. Kind of walk through colour. Then that night we had vegan Japanese food, and Sean was given some sake, and apparently this is how it's served, in a little box. And the food was delicious. I wish I could remember the name of the place actually, but if you're in Eindhoven, look up Japanese vegan food. It's very good. And then yes, at the end you're supposed to drink any remnants out of the bottom of the box. I think he took a little bit more than he anticipated there. And I was very excited because I found raspberry Fanta. So, you know, this was the the Next Nature Museum. And there's a Back to the Future there. It was an interesting museum, and I must admit, I got a bit bored. There's a lot going on, but it was more art than museum, and I think it kind of sold itself more a museum than art. And I don't mind an art place, but I like to know what I'm about to walk into. So yes, a lot more sort of imagining of the future and future technology and past technology, and this whole thing with robots that was actually quite disturbing to walk through. And you got to play around in like futuristic rooms, and there was a whole basement that had how you could feed yourself in the future and things like that. So it was interesting. Like I said, it was just a little more art than science, I guess, and I thought it'd be the other way around. Then we left, and we randomly found ourselves in the middle of World War II. So we'd gone to this World War II place because Sean wanted to do some research for some stuff he's writing, and they were having a D-Day. I think it was D-Day. I can't remember. It's some sort of reenactment of all the forces kind of being in one place. That was kind of interesting and not something we expected to walk into. And obviously everyone was speaking lots of different languages, so that was interesting. Then we decided to look at some planes. Sean decided to get into this one and pretend to jump out of it. He didn't go the whole hog though. This is me trying to film him in the cockpit, but apparently he didn't go in the cockpit, so you can't really see him. Then we went back outside. There was more war happening. I mean, they really went for it. You've got to give them kudos. Then we found some amazing vegan pastries, because at this point, pretty sure we're in Germany. Yes, we're in Germany at this point. This is a vegan buffet. The vegan food in Germany is amazing. This is my breakfast, some of which I brought with me, to be fair. So this is us heading into the city. Dusseldorf. This is Dusseldorf. And we were only really here for a day as well. We had a quick run around, really. But in all honesty, a lot of it was just to go for the food, because I was so impressed with Germany's vegan food options. But here's some historical. There's the Rhine, which we will have sailed on last year down the Rhine. In fact, it might have been the year before at this point. It was very foggy, but we went to this fantastic museum, which was the Dusseldorf Film Museum. It was very interesting, lots of random stuff. Here's some work they've been doing on old footage and restoration. They had a whole basement which was full of stuff. Oh, you could do an animation. So, of course, we did. I decided my hand should definitely be involved. And Oh my goodness, yes. Old cameras, lots of old cameras, getting slightly newer to the point that we own two of those. So that was a bit weird to see that in a museum, not gonna lie. But yeah, loads of old stuff as well, like flip things, and I'm too tired to remember what this is called, but you know, old school movement animation sort of things. It was honestly a very good museum. If you're in Dusseldorf, we were there on a Sunday, and Sunday the museums are free, which we didn't know. We'd have happily paid to go in, but yeah, just added bonus that it was free. Here's some video stuff that we did as well, mostly just hats. But this is the sort of basement area. I think it was the basement. It was either the basement or the top. I can't remember. But this had loads of interesting props and things you can play around with to do with filmmaking. As you can see, there's pretty much just us there. So we ended up playing around for a little bit, looking at all the old kit and old tech, which we are fans of. As me having a little drive in the car. As you can see, it's a British car as well. The steering wheel's on our side, so that was a little odd. Wasn't expecting that. And that's me realising that obviously the background doesn't move with you, so that looks silly. They had a whole green screen room you could play around with, but that just felt like being at work. And then, oh my goodness, again, the vegan food. This was so delicious. Really, really fun to eat as well. And there's a tube. This is us going back to the Netherlands. So we left the Netherlands, went to Germany, and then went back, and now we're in Rotterdam. I could have planned that better, to be honest. But anyway, it's nice. We stayed on a sort of boat hotel, a flotel in Rotterdam, which seemed apt and quite fun. Parking was incredibly expensive. There you go. I mean, this could be Rotterdam or anywhere, really, Liverpool or Rome. But again, there's so much footage of us eating because I'm just so impressed with the food that we found on our trip. This was kind of cool, this statue, because you can see how it's lit, and it's lit really quite savagely from the top of that building. They really want you to see that statue. This was the next day. This is our last day, actually, I think. Our last proper day anyway, and we found the comedy, and then we found the flag parade, and there's our flag, which was every flag of the entire world. And we walked the entire length of it. I did not film the whole thing because it would have took a good 20 minutes. But each flag had its own little bit of information. Here's another big bridge over the Rotterdam River. I don't know. Would that be the Rhine as well? No, I don't know. I'm not even going to try and embarrass myself by guessing what that was. Maritime Museum, because Sean likes a good bit of maritime. And here's the docks. And a little walk around there, because obviously Rotterdam is a big docks central area. These are kind of cool habitats. I think students live in there. And oh, this was amazing. This was a huge food hall where people also lived there. So like on the outside, it's like, I think that's what it is. Like people live in flats around there or something. But the food hall was great. Again, so much food. So much food. And got a few souvenirs here as well. Here's Sean having a pizza, some lovely Indian food. Oh, and this place, I'd forgotten about this. So maybe Rotterdam wasn't the last day. It was a long trip. This is where you can be in the Netherlands or Belgium at any point in time. That shop literally is split in two between Belgium and the Netherlands. And I can't remember the name of the place, I'll be honest. This road is absolutely messed up. I mean, look at that. It can't decide which side it's on. This is Antwerp. This was our last day. Sorry, Antwerp was our last day. And look how cool this hotel was. Absolutely funky. And it was probably the cheapest place we stayed in as well. But look at the carpet. Amazing. And the bathroom. I was in love with this hotel. The staff were lovely as well. And look at the corridor. Honestly, if I ever went back to Antwerp, I'd definitely stay here again. It was so cool. And the day in Antwerp, we had the morning in Antwerp, and then we were heading back to the ferry after this. So we had a look around Antwerp, and then we headed to the Chocolate Museum. Oh, via this was the train station, and look at what an amazing train station this is. Slightly more disappointed with the vegan options here. I could not actually find any food. So I basically ate chocolate, because there were some vegan chocolate options. Oh, that donut was vegan. Yeah, that was my breakfast. So Belgian chocolate, obviously we're in Antwerp now. This is a whole chocolate museum. It's very interesting. We learn a lot about chocolate and why Belgium's such a big part of that. There's some fancy stuff there, shown on a old ye olde bike. But I mean, the best bit really, oh, I forgot about this as well. This is just weird. It was like a video on the table. You had to sit at the table. Anyway, this skipped to the end. This is the best bit. The chocolate tasting. Now, I was given a spoon and instantly went, oh, well, I'll watch Sean eat some chocolate. And then I got to the end and went, wait a minute. Oh, that's out of sequence, I think. There was, oh, no, it's not. I just cut some out, I guess. There was actually some vegan chocolate, so I got to taste some too. And this is us on our way home. So we're getting back on the ferry at Dunkirk, which is where we come into. And not sure why we needed to zoom in on that. And is this us leaving already? Oh, we're back home, I guess. I assume I didn't film anything on the ferry. It had been a long day, to be fair. So we headed home, and I was pretty sure I got a speeding ticket, but it never arrived, so I guess I didn't. So that was it.